Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is the second part of stress biology. In the first part we have already discussed what is stress, what are the different types of stress, and what are the conditions or what are the symptoms of stress, and how the hormones are affected due to stress, which we have discussed it overall. In this part of the video, we will be discussing about what are the axes of stress, which are the things which controls the stress, and what is strain and something. This will be the second part, and one more part will come, that is the third part, in which we will complete the stress biology. And this is a very huge topic and also very important topic, because this stress biology why we need to understand what is stress and how it is affecting, because nowadays it is very common thing. Stress is very common thing, because we are facing in every day, each day of our stress is something which have become a part and parcel of our life. So we need to understand the biology behind it, the theory behind it, and how it can harm us, how it can slowly bring closer to the death in early stage because of this stress only. Because in the previous class I have told you that how stress can cause death also, if there is chronic stress, if we don't treat stress, if we don't do certain things to rectify our stress, if we don't do something to calm down ourselves, then we can hamper our own health only, and we will face towards the death only, fatal only. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about the second part of the video, and in this part we are going to discuss this. I have already told you what is stress. These are all combination of different types of stress, and we have discussed about the stress, what are the stress definition, and what is the different types of stress we have discussed, and generalized symptoms, and what are the physiological phenomenon behind the stress we have already discussed. And if you have not seen the first part of the video of the stress, please do check it out first, so that you will get a detailed and clear idea about stress, and then you can focus about in the second part. Okay, so let's begin the second part. In the second part we are going to discuss how stress management takes place, or what are the axes which helps in the stress management. So basically there are three axes that controls the stress management, that is hypothalamus, pituitary, that is adrenal axis. First is the adrenal axis, second is the thyroid axis, and third is the posterior pituitary axis. As you all know, the pituitary gland is divided into two, that is anterior and posterior. So these three, that is adrenal axis, thyroid axis, and the posterior pituitary axis, these three are responsible for the stress management. And why I am written hypothalamus? Because hypothalamus is the main controlling center which controls all our hormones. That's why we call hypothalamus controls pituitary, and from pituitary it will control the other glands, because pituitary majorly divided into anterior and posterior. Majority of the hormone belongs to the anterior, and only two hormone that belongs to posterior. Let not discuss deep into hormone, because that will be another part of the video which will be discussing only about hormones in some other context. Okay, so what does the thing, that is first is the HPA, that is hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis. What does it do? First of all, the hypothalamus will stimulate the pituitary during the time of stress. This pituitary will stimulate the ACTH, that is adrenal corticotrophil hormone, which is responsible for three type of hormone, that is cortisol, aldosterone, and sex corticoid. What it will do? Cortisol, it will control the gluconeogenesis activity. What is gluconeogenesis? Basically the formation of glucose from some non-carbohydrate source is known as gluconeogenesis. Let's say from the fat, from protein, or from some other substance, pyruvate. From this substance, if glucose is formed, then it is known as gluconeogenesis. Okay, then this glucose will be stored in our muscle. Okay, and this will result in the increase in the glycemic condition. Glycemic condition, you know very well, that is the glucose level will increase in our body. As a result, what will happen? The decrease in the insulin stimulation, and lipid lysis and protein lysis will take place. That is lipid breakdown. Because what is lysis means breakdown. Okay, gluconeogenesis will result in the formation of glucose from the non-carbohydrate source, that is from the lipid and from the protein. So the lipid and protein breakdown will take place and it will form glucose. Okay, as a result of which the blood glucose will increase, and if the blood glucose will increase, then what will happen? It will decrease the insulin factor. Insulin actually it can increase the insulin, but due to stress condition that the insulin level will decrease in our blood and gluconeogenesis will increase. As a result, the glycemic condition, that is the glucose condition, will increase in our blood. Then what will happen? Quaternion reduces muscle, because in our muscles the fat or the protein which is stored in our muscles, that will break down to supply the glucose. As a result, the muscles will reduce and it will increase the inflammatory response. Okay, and it will decrease the immune system will decrease. Means what will happen? If we are very easily prone to disease, we are very easily if something very silly, if sudden change in the climate also takes place, we get easily prone to disease, cough, cold, very rarely, very feeble immune system, you can say. Naturally we have strong immune system. If you say some people have very weak immune system, if you eat something unhealthy for a single day also, or for a single something like that also, then also the immune system will gradually decrease due to the stress condition, and gradually it will bring you towards the depression. Depression means you don't want to do anything, you will feel deprived of doing anything. Deprived means to stop, something will stop you from doing something. You will feel lethargy all the time, you will always feel tired, sleepy, all that thing you will feel. So this is the consequence of what will happen if you undergo a long time of stress. Then what it will do? This is all about cortisol. Okay, then what will do with the aldosterone, the mineral secretion. Aldosterone is responsible for mineral secretion. We all know that fluid retention will take place, and there will be increase in the blood pressure, and then retention of the minerals, as a result of which there will be swelling in our body. Retention means for storing. Usually blood secretion and blood retention fluid retention in our body is not a good thing. This fluid is excess of minerals or excess of fluid should be removed of our body. As a result of what, it will remain in our body and will cause swelling of different part of our body, and it will decrease the urine content as the fluid is getting deposited in our body. So as a result, the swelling, unusual swelling of face, unusual swelling of feet and etc. will take place, and excess of fluid actually is removed from the urine only. If it is in our body, then the urine will also be decreased. Then sex corticoid, what it will do? It will hair grow in the face due to stress. So you must be seeing that due to stress also facial hair will be growing more in the females also. Not only male, females also, the facial hair will be growing all over the body. That is how this happens due to stress. How this cortisol, aldosterone and the sex corticoid, basically the adrenal axis, what it does during the time of stress. This is all we have seen. So now you must be seeing that how danger it is to remain in stress for a longer duration of time. It can really harm your body. Okay, next, moving to the next part. Wait a second. Okay, next coming to the HPT. HPT means what? Hypothalamus pituitary thyroid axis. Okay, you know thyroid release the thyroxine. It will regulate the metabolic rate, heart and digestive function, muscle control and brain development. Excess secretion will cause hypothyroidism. What will happen if you remain in the stress for a longer period of time? This is all the functions of the thyroid. Thyroid will regulate our metabolic rate, will regulate our heart rate, digestive, everything is controlled by thyroid. That's why if there is less secretion of thyroid hormone also, there is also a problem. If there is more secretion of thyroid hormone also, there will be a problem. That's why excess secretion of thyroid will take place during the time of stress. As a result, hyperthyroidism will occur, and which can harm your body. in the hormone chapter we will discussing what will happen if you hypothyroidism, hypothyroidism, different types of hormone we will be discussing. But for this part of the video, this much is necessary. Okay, next coming to the posterior, we know that anterior majority of the hormone is secreted from the anterior pituitary axis, but in the posterior two hormones are responsible, that is oxytocin and vasopressin. If we are under the stress condition, then what will happen? The contraction of smooth muscle will not take place, and the vasopressin, that is fluid retention, will take place. Okay, so these are the three things. How if we remain under stress for long period of time, then majorly these three axes will be affected. That is adrenal axis, which is controlling the cortisol hormone, aldosterone, sex corticoid. Pituitary, that is controlling the thyroid hormone, which is a master, which is controlling the majority of our body activity. Posterior pituitary axis will be affected. This thing will be affected. Okay, then if you see the general symptoms, okay, general symptoms, if we remain in the stress condition, what will be our general symptoms, what will be our general condition, we will be seeing. First of all, the adrenal hormone will increase. We have seen that heart rate and cardiac, when we are in the stress condition, our heartbeat will increase, our cardiac output will increase, as a result of which we can get a heart attack also. Then our CNS activity will increase, that is central nervous system activity. Dilate airways, we can't breathe properly also, breathing rate will be increasing. Okay, that will be shortage of oxygen in our body. Oxygen consumption will increase, means that we need more oxygen. In normal condition, when you are not under stress, you will need only limit amount of oxygen to breathe, but when you are in the stress condition, you will need more oxygen, because you will be in the shortening of breath, breathing very heavily when you are in the stress condition. Then the blood is diverted through the vital organ to the muscle gland. Very, very important point, because vital organs means the brain, heart, lungs, these are all the vital organs of our body. From there, instead of blood going to this part of the body, it will divert to some other muscles gland. Okay, as a result of which what will happen, the vital organs which are necessary for our body functioning will not get the sufficient amount of blood, and gradually we will be having different types of problems. Okay, and reduce in the sexual ability, our sexual desire to undergo copulation will gradually decrease, and increase in the muscle contraction, you will get cramps in our body. Clotting factor also increases. If you get in any wound, or if you get injured in your body, normal clotting time will be 1 to 2 minutes, your blood will clot down and the blood flowing will be stopped. But if you are under the stress condition, in a prolonged stress condition, the blood will not clot so easily. Then dilation of pupil will dilate, sweating will increase. Okay, immune system will always decrease, you will very, very easily fall sick every time, very easily prone to infection, and reproductive capacity will also decrease, and digestive and excretory product, you can see how many things are getting affected. After knowing this, after studying this chapter, it's better to do something for your stress management, because you have seen clearly how many things are getting affected if you are not treating your stress, if you are not correcting or doing something to check your stress, you are not doing any stress management techniques, then for sure there will be within very less time you will be undergoing some serious critical disease. Okay, so these are all the basic that is generally symptoms of the stress. Then what is strain? Any change, external or internal environment in which the body fight and pain or stress takes place is called strain. What happen? If there is any external or internal environment, okay, in which our body fight, means for stress or pain, okay, takes place is called strain. That is what will happen if there is any environmental change outside, or if any internal change, the fighting mechanism, the body which shows resistance or defense activity is known as strain, and which causes the stress. Okay, that is the fight and pain or stress takes place is called as the strain. Okay, stress can lead to strain. In the simple word we can see stress can lead to strain. Then what are the different stress, adaptation, resistance, and all this we will be discussing in this part of the video. Okay, so let me see if we can complete it or not. Okay, we can complete in this part of the video. Okay, generalized adaptive syndrome. So there is triphagic phenomenon which was proposed by Hans Sledge. Sorry for that, and this is not clearly visible, but it is Sledge. Okay, there are three reactions which we'll be seeing in the adaptive purpose. One is alarm reaction, phase of resistance, and third is the phase of exhaustion. What will happen in the alarm reaction? It is an immediate reaction to any kind of stress. Suppose we are in a stress condition, it will affect immediately. What it will happen? It will usually cause the generalized traumatic shock, and this process the sympathetic nervous system will come into play, which we have discussed in the first part of the video. How the sympathetic nervous system will be activated and how it will activate other hormones like ADH, cortisol, and other hormones will be activated, and as a result of which growth hormone, pituitary, stimulant, everything will be activated, and due to which the pain reliever hormone, I have told you in the first part, the pain reliever hormone, that is the enkephalin and beta androxin, will be releasing, which will cause us anxiety. If you are under stress, what causes anxiety? This is the reason, that is known as alarm reaction. Which hormone gets activated, due to which we get anxiety? With all of these hormones get activated. ADH, which activate cortisol, cortisol will activate growth hormone, all these hormones will get activated, and as a result a pain reliever will be released in our body, that is beta androxin and enkephalin, which will cause us anxiety. Okay, this I have shown in the flowchart format. Okay, second comes to the phase of resistance, that is the engagement of parasympathetic. This one was sympathetic, only sympathetic nervous system. Next coming, if the parasympathetic hormone comes into place, that is we have already discussed in the first part of the first part of the stress biology, that how sympathetic hormone is responsible for the stress. But what does the parasympathetic do? It will bring back to the normal condition, that is it will bring back to the homeostatic condition, normal condition. Okay, and the body will using the energy resource and maintaining the homeostasis, as a result of which the SNS, that is systemic nervous system, will reduced. Okay, first of all, you are under stress, systemic nervous system is stimulated and all this hormone activated, you will get anxiety attacks. Second stage, that is the phase of resistance. Here what will happen, the parasympathetic will come and decrease the SNS, as a result your body will again bring back to homeostatic condition. Next phase, this is the things which your body do if you are under stress for a shorter period of time. But what will happen if you prolong stress? Then comes the third and the most dangerous phase, that is the phase of exhaustion, that is your lymphatic system will be affected, and you will be because the lymphatic system is responsible for your secretion of B cell and T cell. You know that is responsible for fighting of the infection, infection and your inflammatory, or you can say immune system, mainly immune system. Your immune system will be affected and you will have very low immunity, and it will bring target organ will be affected, and you will be every time you will be affected with disease. And many body physiological as well as psychological, not only your digestive system, respiratory system, excretory system, circulatory system, all your system will be affected, but also your psychology, your mental health will also decrease. Okay, and if you do not cure it for a longer period of time, your psychological health will collapse, as a result of which you will undergo clinical depression, that is you will be having a suicidal thought, that is very very dangerous. Okay, the person will undergo he will be losing his ability to think, he will be overthinking every time, he will losing everything, thinking ability, everything will be lost. Okay, and finally the body will collapse and death of organism will take place. Why? Because the hippocampus will damage, as a result you will have loss of memory, and reasoning also will be lost, and the sympathetic nervous decrease in the sympathetic, parasympathetic activity will also decrease, as a result of which no balance will be maintained. Before that, what was happening? Stress was taking place, sympathetic was coming into play, and then phase of resistance, parasympathetic was coming into play, and you were having a balanced hemostasis was maintaining. But if you are undergoing a condition of stress for a very long period of time, and you are keeping it untreated, you are not treating also, then these all things will take place, and finally the person will collapse. And what are the organs which are involved? Brain, hypothalamus, amygdala, hippocampus. All these are responsible for the stress condition. Okay. Then we will see strain. Strains are of two types, that is elastic strain and plastic strain. What is elastic strain and what is plastic strain? Let's see. Elastic strain. Okay, this strain part we will be discussing in the third part of the video. This much is essential, because if we discuss more, it will be very difficult for you to understand certain things. So this is up to organs involved, that is brain, hypothalamus, amygdala, that is stress response is related to the fear, hippocampus is related to memory, locus coeruleus is present in the pons, which is responsible for sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system response, and raphia nuclei is responsible for secretion of serotonin, which is responsible for your mood as well as to regulate your stress condition, and spinal cord. All these conditions, all these organs are involved if you are undergoing under stress condition for a longer period of time. And what are the glands involved? Pituitary, adrenal, thyroid, gonads, immune system. Excuse me. All this will be very also involved in this if you are undergoing for a stress for a longer period of time. Shorter period of time also will be included, or also if you are undergoing stress for a longer period of time also, these glands will be involved. So up to this is all about stress. In the second part or the third part of the video, we will be discussing about the strain, different types of strain, and some management technique, how you can manage your stress condition. We will be discussing in the third part of the video, but today this much is. And by this also you must be clear how stress can damage your health. It is not, if you have watched this part of the video also, it is not never too late. This term, never too late, means from now also you can begin managing your stress condition. If very small things, some people are there, very small thing which will be very normal to other people, they undergo stress, like traveling to somewhere, going somewhere out. This is all getting aggravated. This happens due to small events only. Small things gather to make bigger thing. That's why in the smaller step you need to check your stress management, so that you does not go any further. Say that छोटे से ही संभाल लो, ज़्यादा बड़ा हो जाएगा तो मुश्किल हो जाएगा, वही होता है यहाँ पे. इसीलिए छोटा जब होता है स्ट्रेस, उसी वक्त ब्रीदिंग एक्सरसाइज कर सकते हो, कुछ भी कर सकते हो आपको काम डाउन करने के लिए, ताकि अपना बॉडी काम डाउन हो जाए. That is, our body gets relaxed, then we can focus on our study or any type of work we do. Okay, if we take stress unnecessary, then nothing will work. Indirectly directly we are damaging our own health. We are causing damage to ourselves. So it's a very humble request to everyone who are watching this video, that please don't take stress. Everything will be fine, everything will be good. Thank you. And this much is this part of the video. In the next part of the video we will be discussing some other thing. Okay, thank you and have a very nice day.